What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what has been coming out associated to NIO, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. NIO is down 0.2%. So a little bit more of a lackluster day. $5 is the low, $5.19 is the high, and very little volume. So 29.8 mil for the volume, 81.9 is the average. Even on the secondary market, only one transaction so far today. It is a buy though for 129,000, but still the amount, like big money is not really buying NIO. And I think it's more linked to the technicals. So we'll go over that in a second. But even just one entity buying one big transaction a day, that's not even enough to offset shorts. So it's not a good scenario. So as of today, NIO did unveil their October numbers. 20,976 vehicles were delivered, and that is an increase of 30.5% year over year. And roughly around 4,300 of those were Envo. So at least they're making progress and a pretty good year over year percentage, but still it is not what people were wanting. Even based on my last video, I asked for some predictions and pretty much everyone was anticipating for, at the very bare minimum, 24. And so it coming in at like 21 rounding up, like that's not good. And the market is extremely fickle right now. We've seen that based on a lot of big companies unveiled in their earnings. Any slight miss, the stock gets slaughtered. So yeah, NIO's, it's not the greatest in reality. But let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. A lot of data points have been coming out both from China as well as the States. So non-farm payroll was very low today, so 12,000 versus 180,000, but I think that's being somewhat forgiven, largely because of the hurricane. Unemployment 4.1 versus 4.2, so very positive stuff in that regard. And then ISM manufacturing, that was rather negative, so 46.5 versus 47.5 the forecast. So that is below 50, showing more of a contraction. And even in for China data, you had this manufacturing data 50.3 versus a forecast of 49.7. So matching with this, so you're seeing more of an expansion occurring in China rather the opposite is happening in the States. But still, nonetheless, this isn't really helping NIO's stock price whatsoever. And plus, a lot of, I guess, stimulus talks are still just coming out. The only problem with that is a lot of the rumors are coming out through Reuters. And I think a lot of their I guess validity of their articles are just fugazi. So there's been so many numbers thrown around over the last 2 weeks. It's absolutely insane. So I think we just need something concrete as far as stimulus and tariffs, and just once all that does get solidified, then NIO should be able to move up. But until then, shorts are going to be doubling down. Right now, they're increasing 1.78 million shares. So like I said, just one big transaction a day, which is kind of crap, is not going to offset even shorts. So like I said, shorts are taking advantage of everything. 14.32% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 191.32 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average 2.73, utilization is 91.83. Moving over to options, 1.31 million in calls and 639,000 in puts. So this is kind of matching with the common stock, so very little volume for options, but 54% of all the options being done are bearish. And with shorts increasing this amount, it is fair to assume that they are hedging with calls. So in reality, it does show 54%, but probably that's a little bit higher, maybe 60 to 70%. So I think the optimism for NIO is just gone, regrettably. Of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $6 range. And then looking at puts, more so sub 5, possibly even sub 4 by December. So like I said, just optimism isn't necessarily there as of right now. With it at 509, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So 504 is a strong support, and then 519, which conveniently did bounce off of for the high today, that's going to be the next strong resistance / target. So we do know that's fairly strong resistance. Quickly moving over to IBKR. So right now it is below the ALMA, and as of right now, the next saving grace might be that 200-day moving average, which is $4.87. So things aren't looking all that great for NIO right now. Stochastic has reset a lot because of the consolidation, but I think that plays very little into the technicals. That's more of a support indicator, so you need other indicators to kind of piggyback off of that. A lot of people just say, hey, it's oversold, it's oversold. You kind of need a little bit more than just oversold to drive up a stock, but even MACD, relatively bearish for that. No new analyst ratings, nothing like that. So yeah, I think right now we're just kind of stuck in limbo. Based on the technicals, it is pointing for a little bit lower lows to come. But I think even in the comments, a lot of even bulls are kind of pointing and kind of having more self-awareness that it might hit the $4 range sooner rather than later. So just take note of some of the support levels below that. So $4.95 and then $4.80. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. What's your viewpoint on these numbers right here? And do you think it's like a big deal at all, the fact that it was a little bit lower, or like what's your viewpoint? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then take advantage of this promo because it gives you 8 free shares. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is a kick-ass deal. Link to this is in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.